I'm waiting for signs of life to appear. It says that we are streaming. Okay, why won't my cord sit behind where it's supposed to be? Let me refresh the page. There we go. So hi everyone, and welcome back to the design studio. I cannot wait to show you what we're making today. So I didn't want to give it all away at the very beginning, but I figured let's do something different, right? There's a lot of customers out there with storm doors. And with storm doors, you can't really fit your traditional wreath on their front door. It needs to be small and compact, and what a lot of people hear is flat and no style, no design, no nothing. It's going to be very blah. Well, I'm here to change that conception today. So we are working on a pancake wreath, but before we get started, a couple things. Don't forget, if you want to save a copy of this tutorial, you're on Facebook. All you have to do is click share. It does a copy paste from my page to your page. Just make sure you download it and make sure you save the file as something you need to remember, and it doesn't just stay in a default download file. To get notified when I go live, just simply make sure you have liked my page and you are following my page, which is found under those three little dots. Click that, it'll open up your live notification, and you can selectively choose how often you want to be notified by anyone. You have to do that for everybody on Facebook. You want to be notified. Doesn't always exactly guarantee that it'll work, but that is the idea. If you're on YouTube, quick save, saves the tutorial. Clicking on the subscription bell notifies you whenever we are going live. And also, if you didn't get the announcement on Tuesday, I am relaunching my private group for people who are fed up with another thing, too much pressure, trying to keep up with the current trends and buying supplies. And before you know it, you have an 800 square foot shop that is full of your craft supplies, and yet you're still feeling like you're pressured to make something else. So today's is all made with leftovers, which is always a bonus. So I am almost 100% sure you have most of the materials for this. If not, you can go ahead and acclimate them to what you do have on hand, and I think you're gonna love it. But I rebranded the group, so it's now called Made for More. So we're focusing on content, quality content, and not quantity. Because you could go, I could give you 8 tutorials, 10 tutorials, 20 tutorials a month, and you're like, I can't even get through one. So we're focusing on 1 tutorial every week, but I am also enhancing that weekly with things that you can kind of pick up, like, hey, here's a really good idea for how to repurpose a ribbon roll that you may have not thought of before. So it's all going to be about using what we have to make great quality designs, because here's the kicker that most of us don't understand, is when you have 8 years of supplies, those supplies are discontinued, which means that you can make exclusive designs, and that's what I'm here to show you. So if you're interested, you can try it out for 2 weeks for $1. That's right, $1. Can't go wrong with that. And if you decide to stay, simply do nothing. It'll automatically bill you $27 a month until you decide to cancel. So no long-term contracts, no long-term obligations, no nothing. So pressure is off, our foot is off the gas, and we're going to coast through the holiday season with making some incredible designs. So I hope you come join me. And you can do that at KatsCreationsNMore.com. It's right at the top of the page, and it'll list all the other details. And it is go at your own pace. Pick the things that are relevant to you. Yes, there's still business stuff, and yes, there's still marketing stuff, and yes, there's still crafting ideas and access to the library. So just pick what you want out of the group, but the cost is all still the same. Okay, I'm going to pivot you down. We're going to go ahead and get going. So hang tight. I'm going to try to move my light so I don't put my fingers on the mic. So here we are. Welcome to the design space. So what we're working on today is pancake style wreath. We're doing traditional Christmas. This was my design inspiration. I was like, I think I have a sign still left. This would be perfect for pancake because it looks gorgeous. It's traditional and it's not going to be flat. You know, I don't want it to be flat. I still want it to have all the glitz and glamour, but still fit between a storm door. So, and most of the people anyway, when I start laying in my materials, think we're making a pancake wreath anyway, but we're not. So what you're going to see is the inside 6 is going to remain the same. It's the outside 6 that changes. So we're going to go ahead and finish wiring this one. So I'm going to take my pipe cleaner. I'm going to wire this right in the center using the 2 inside-most rings. That gives me my 6. And then if you've noticed, what I've done on the outside is wherever there is a weld, I have placed one. So we have one in between every single one. And now I've got to get my other pipe cleaner. Pulled out one. Needed a second one. And what I like to do is just go up one side and around the outside, making sure, because it's always important, making sure the length of our pipe cleaners is equal as possible. 6 on the outside, 6 on the inside. Well, what we're going to do first is we're going to focus on the outside, because when you build a pancake, we start with the bottom layers. We can't start pancakes at the top and then try to squeeze layers in on the bottom. So it is just like pancakes in real life, my all-time favorite. And I'm using 2 different color Deco Mesh leftovers. And these were exactly what I had. I had a lot of leftover Deco Mesh in green and red. Sometimes doing cruffles, you have the leftover rolls. And you're like, well, I'm not going to throw that away. So I save all of mine. So this is what we're going to do. Ruffle technique. So just imagine the line right at the center, exactly like we were doing before. Okay, wood burning tool to cut all the pieces. Wherever there's green, we're putting green. Wherever there is red, we're going to put, any guesses? Just like that. And we want to make them look like doilies. Grandma's doilies. That are now probably collector's items. So open them wide because we need them to cover the base. And this is where you really need a good quality Deco Mesh to pull off this look as well. And now I'm going to take our red. Same thing. I hope you picked red. Hi Pam. Hi Elizabeth. Welcome, welcome. If you guys are here, come on in and say hi. I'd love to welcome you. Okay, and then we're going to pull up this one right in the center of our red. And I'm making sure I have even spaces. Grandma's doilies. Right, Elizabeth? She says, I love the idea of leftovers. Me too. Although sometimes I hate eating leftovers. Especially if it wasn't something I was extraordinarily fond of the first time around. Hubby's really good about leftovers. He'll eat leftovers. Okay, so we're just alternating red and green, because we're going to pop that white sign on this multicolor base. And it's been a while since we've done a multicolor base. So, there's that. Nice and pretty. Got another red. And flip that back out. We are ready to get hammered by a really big storm rolling in tomorrow. They're still trying to figure out what the wind speeds are going to be. So Kat is going to be charging all of our wireless devices and making sure we have gas in the generator, because you never know. I mean, if you're going to be prepared, you got to be prepared, right? So I'm being prepared to lose power. And most of the time we only lose it for about 4 hours. About what the refrigerator can handle if nobody opens the doors, and thankfully it's just going to be me tomorrow. So again, doilies, so you can see we're touching all the edges. Last red one. Let's just tight curl one. I have some tight curls. I'm super excited to show you this design. Actually, the way I think in my head it's supposed to come out looks great. We'll see when we're all finished and done. So we are only using 6 pieces, 6 20-inch pieces of red and 6 20-inch pieces of green, one layer on top of the other. So like I said, we're starting with the bottom layer first. So now I'm going to, hi Jean. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put in our ribbons. We have to put everything in on the bottom first. And so we're doing this shimmer. It's like not glitter, which is good. It's just a shimmer. Green. It's 2.5 inch. And all the ribbons are going to be cut for the ribbons that go on here to 13 inches. Actually, I can do them both at the same time. I forgot that. And then I'm also doing 1.5 inches, also cut to 13 inches. We'll fold them both in half to find the true center. We're putting the green on the red, just like this. Twist, 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 and then I'm going to cut it off because it's all going to be underneath. It's just layers. However, the ribbon's going to stick out. Everything from this point out is going to stick out. So I'm going to pop these so that we have nice ribbon tails right there. Okay. And I'm going to slide it around. And we're going to do a different combo. Oops. Grab 2. We're going to use this red and white Swiss dot with furry edge and pair that with this. Same thing. Fold it in half. Find the center. Place that right on the inside. Twist, 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 twist. Cut them off. Tuck that back to the center. And we will pop these. We'll be fluffing these periodically, so I'm not even going to really worry about these until I get them all in. And we get the other layer on top of this. So, back to green, which is from Michael's. And this 1.5 inches is from Costco. Let me look at this. 13. I got 13 and 13. It is still short for some reason. Don't know. But it is 13 and 13. Same thing with your ribbons. You will only need, actually, by the time we get to the top layer, we're going to be doing something else. So if it goes according to plan, we're going to only need 8 green. I'm thinking it's 8. I'm like trying to think. It goes 6, 7, 8. Yeah. So 4 green, 8 with the 1.5 inches, and then 4 with the polka dots. You need 16 pieces for your double tails. I still want to go. I want to go to dinner tonight, but I want it to be pouring rain. I don't want to be caught in the rain, though. I love it, though. I would be the person pulled over on the side of the road just watching it pour. Let it rain. Let it rain. Hi, Joan. Yes, the mesh is cut to 20-inch pieces with the wood burning tool. This is our leftover wreath. So using leftovers, we're making a pancake style wreath, but I want to elevate it because most of the time I see pancake wreaths and they look meh. My daughter has a storm door, and most of the time she has to settle for what's flat and squishy because she has somewhere between a 3 and 4 inch height differential, which is why you can't really use the wired wreath frames because you're already dealing with a height difference of 2 inches before you even get stuff on your wreath. Okay, last one going in. So we're making this super cute. I don't know why I left the other 4 pipe cleaners. I need to go around and take them all off. Okay, there's that one. Give them a couple extra twists. I'm always just giving them extra twists because I had it happen once. And maybe I only twisted 1 or 2 times. But when I was going to put something in them, they came out. My ribbons came out. And I was like, oh, can't have that happen. So we're going to make sure we go extra, extra. Extra, extra. I'm in a great mood. I always am when it rains. When rain's coming. I mean, rain is coming. Okay. So there is, look at how festive that looks. And that's only the first layer. Okay, so now what we need to do is we have to go through and pull out all of our pipe cleaners that are stuck in the middle that I pushed out of the way. Because bottom layer is done. That's our pancakes with our syrup and butter. So now we need to put another layer on. So this is how you build your traditional pancake. So now you can see why people get confused and go, oh, you're making a pancake wreath. No, because most of the time I do start in the middle, and I do make sure that my center pieces are all, you know, nice and fluffed. So now we're going to come in and do the same thing. Where green is, we're doing green. So for those of you just joining us, all you will need is 6 pieces of 10-inch green mesh cut to 20 inches, and we're ruffling it. And I'm using wide foil that you can get from Craft Outlet. And then we're doing wide foil red. Same thing, 6 pieces, cut to 20 inches. And then I'm just going to flip these. Don't worry, you'll still see everything, I promise. You just won't. The bottom layer you won't see as much, but you'll still see them all playing peekaboo around the outside edge. And if you want your ribbon to show more, then cut your ribbons longer than 13 inches. I just like mine to stop where my Deco Mesh does and not extend beyond that. And we're doing the same thing on the top layer that we did on the bottom layer as we place this in. Edges, finished edges to the inside. We're making grandma doilies. Making sure our Deco Mesh goes all the way and connects. And there'll be a slight little overlap because as we get closer to the center, our diameter gets smaller. So the circle gets tighter. Hi, Tracy. Welcome. Hi, Guadalupe. Welcome. And so we need this Deco Mesh to sit on top of the other. So don't let the bottom ones, they try to vie for attention too, but they have their moment in the sun. So again, if they're going to slightly overlap, bend your edges, fold your edges down. So where they overlap, it's not going to snag on the other ones. And we've got red. So we're curling against the natural curl. You can totally tell these were the pieces that were most close to the end of my roll. Oh, we'll open this up. Place this right on inside. And push that back. Again. Flip them up. Take the ends. Fold your edges over. I like them to overlap just slightly. We have one more green and one more red. And I know it looks like, why bother to put ribbons on the bottom if you're just going to cover it up? That was always my theory when I watched people do pancake wreaths. I'm like, why are you doing that? You just covered up all the ribbon you put on the bottom. Just a process. And we'll slap this one in. Nice and tight, 2 twists. Fold around to the outside. Get your pipe cleaners out of the way so that we have those ready when it gets close to put our ribbons back in. Last one going in. Big red. Big red. Okay, last one. Right in, over the top, just like so. Fold our edges. Make sure it's nice and pretty. If you have a preference for what you prefer on top, red, green, you can put that one primarily on the top. So now we've got all of our pipe cleaners sticking up, right? This is where we can take our bottoms and just readjust our ribbons so that you can see all the components. You can slightly put one on top of the other. You can let them be one, or you can just let them be 2. It's entirely up to you. That's just going to be user preference. So I just like to sometimes see everything. So I'll just give them some fluffs. It almost looks like they're just one ribbon, but there is 2. Just like so. Have you guys done pancake wreaths before? And if not, why not? They're actually the easiest wreath to make. Get you till there we go. Okay, now we're going to put the sign on. Because I want to get the sign on to kind of figure out which ribbons are going to need to be adjusted. So when I take this is a 12 by 6 sign. I place that right there. You can kind of see where some things are going to pop. We're definitely going to put ribbons here and ribbons here. So let's go ahead and put those. Should we put the ribbons in first? Probably should put the ribbons in at least right here, because I think I will end up covering them up when I put my sign on top. It'll just make it easier. So again, the green, the red will go where the green is, which is on its opposite side. Why does that not seem like it's even? There we go. Okay, same way, we're putting them in. Twist, 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 twist. Leave the pipe cleaners on though. You go ahead and fan those out. Go all the way to the other side and get our green. We're going to put our 1.5 inches on top. Now, because the sign is busy enough, it was the main reason why I chose to keep the ribbon combinations. I'm trying to think of the exact word. Not too busy. Because I don't want them to compete with my sign. Okay, So again, pop those out from the underside. Now you'll see when we go to put our sign in, we have those coming off of our, you see what I'm saying? We wouldn't be able to get them in. Okay, before we anchor that in, let's add our business card and remove any stickers from the bottom. I think I'm going to come out here tomorrow and clean and organize. There we go. This is a pretty old sign. So I was like, I'm going to try to get it off in one piece. If we can. I always like to keep my fingers away from that blade. Nope. There we go. Got it off. Okay. We're going to add our business card to the underside. Just like so. Right in the middle. Just because business cards are so hard to keep organized. I kind of want it right in the center. So I'm going to, even though there's 4 holes in here, I don't want to use those because I don't want them anchored on the corners. I want them anchored to the center. So I'm going to pull out some floral wire, 22 gauge for my signs. If you want, you can see this is a used sign. You can totally tell how long I've had it. These signs have been in Craft Outlet forever. They make them MDF and they also make them metal. So I'm using metal, although you could use MDF on this design because it is a storm door wreath. So that can stay to the inside where we don't have to be so overly, you know, I'm trying to figure out where I want to put that. Right here on the very end. I'm lining it up with the line. The little red line going through. Using 1.5 millimeter metal hole punch, which you can get at any craft store. Look in the jewelry department because that's what they're there for punching holes in earrings. So I am just building this over the back because I need it to lay flat. Remember, ladies, we don't take our wire and put it to the outside. We twist over the back side so it doesn't become a pinwheel. Make sure that's nice and straight. I've got equal amounts. And I like to twist right over the hole. It gives you some control. There's the last one. We're lining those up right with our bows. So I'm going to make sure we get one on each side. I've got one there. And there's our second one. I'm going to bring this over. And as I do, I'm pulling the leftover all the way down. Right about there. It's sometimes hard to figure out where you're going to stop. You know, like how far down do you want to pull it? On this one, you want to pull it pretty much all the way down because it's going to lay flat on top. No bow on this. With storm doors, we have to be super conscious of that. That, you know, a bow could potentially push people. Trying to get this one need it to go back in alignment with the other one. I might have to loosen the other one up so I can get those over. So right under there. Same thing here. Pull everything out so we have nice little pretty bows out to the side, and you can still see the ones peeking out from the bottom. Okay, we're going to do something a little bit different because I'm not sure I'm going to use these, but I'm going to show you what we're going to do. You may or may not have seen these before. We are making ribbon poinsettias with leftover ribbon. So I happen to have a roll of some, it's kind of got like holly berries, pine branches, all the things. So I thought that would be kind of pretty coordinating in here. And the first thing I'm going to show you what you're going to do is you're going to, let's see, do I have another, I have another one open. This one has just a little bit left, so let's try this. So, same ribbon. You're going to cut 5 7-inch pieces. So here's one. Here is 2. And we'll do in 3. And 4. And I happen to have one already cut because I cut too many. I wasn't counting. And then what you're going to want to do is we're not dovetailing these. We are making these into points. So I know that in the past I've always told you bring your wired edges together. I need you to flip that over because I want you to cut on the wired side down to the folded point. Make sure you pay attention. Otherwise, you wind up with these, which are dovetails. And I'm like, darn it, I need them to go in the other way. So this is where old habits die hard. Cutting from the point. Nope, flip it over. Kat, you're going to cut from the wired edge to the point. It's raining right now. There's that one. So we have like a point on either end. Ta-da! That's what it should look like a double arrow. So you're going to do that with all your pieces. You could try to put them all together. I'm glad I didn't, because when I started dovetail cutting, thank God I didn't do that. I would have ruined all 5 ribbons. So I just prefer to do them one at a time. It just gives me greater control. So cut from wired edge to the point of the fold. There's 2. So you have this one over here. There's 3. Flip them. Always tell yourself, flip it. Flip it. Because we're creatures of habit. I'm always wanting to do it. So I have to go flip it. I'm saying that in my head. You just don't hear that in my head. And last one. We're going to flip it because I almost dovetailed that one. Sometimes you can do a winter lantern. What do you mean, Tracy? So, flip it. I did it right. From the wired edge to the folded point. Okay. This is where you can use it with the aid of a glue gun. Or you can just get a whole bunch of like chip clips to help hold. And this is what you're going to do. You're going to put pretty side facing up. You're going to fold those to the center and put a crease in it. Then I want you to fold your edges down. Flip it over. Flip your edge down. And I want you just to chip clip it or clothespin it. Just set it aside just so it stays folded. Same thing, do this to all 5 pieces, fold it in half, and then bring your edges down and fold them in half. So it's kind of like a neat fold. There's that one. I'm still trying to figure out what I did with all my clothespins. I think they might be inside the house. I might have used them for something. So fold, and then fold them again, and put your zip loop in there just to hold your folded pieces. This one, fold down in half, flip it over, fold it again. I have this one left. Try to put it right in the center if I can. And last one, fold in half, fold your edges down, fold your edges down, just like this. Now, what I want you to do with all those pieces that you have so lovingly folded, I want you to take them and I want you to stack them together, making sure your edges are straight. Okay? Just line them up one at a time and make sure they're all even. You know, you don't have one side longer than the other. Just like this. You can even take them and stack them this way if you prefer. Making sure all your edges are straight. Here's my last one. Okay, once you have your edges straight, I like to fold it so I can kind of find where's the middle. Because for some reason with me, it's just me, I can't seem to get these on straight. Should have always cut your wire first before you start stacking and folding. So cut your wire, because this is what we're going to do. We're going to wrap this. Oop, I just kind of moved them. Okay. Right there. I am going to take my wire and I am going to wire them all together. You can even take a pipe cleaner if you don't have floor wire. Doesn't matter. It'll work. Just nice and tight. Okay, so from here, I know it doesn't look like much. Trust the process. Pull your outside pieces together and pull these ones down and pull these ones down. And look, you have a ribbon poinsettia. And then you can decorate it. You can decorate it with little green balls, or you can decorate it with the little mini, you can do red, white, and green if you want, and have, you know, just go to town with being unique and different. Wow, I so did not think that one through. I'll do red for now. So we're going to do 3. So just a little dab of glue, little dot of glue, just kind of line them up, little dab of glue, just like so, and make sure they all line up together and give it some time to dry. Now if you're pretty particular like I am, you could do 6 pieces just so that they line up a little bit better, or if you wanted to, you could tack a little bit of glue on the edge and just line up your pieces and put your pieces together so that your folded pieces line up perfectly. But these are our ribbon poinsettias, so you can do this with all of your leftover ribbon. So what I was thinking is we're going to put one here, right? It'll go right there. And I have another one already done. because I had to remember how to do them. It's been a while. And we're going to tuck this underneath because it's supposed to be underneath. We're going to put another one right there. Oops. I'm going to push that down because it's getting in the way of my ribbon. Just like so. So we can do them like that. Look how pretty that is. Looks so festive. Or if you wanted to, you could go here and here, or you could make some additional ones. You could, if you wanted to, because I pulled on enough to make a total of 6. So I was actually going to do them all in different colors and put them on the ends, which kind of took the place for these additional pipe cleaners to not be there. And so you would still have the ends kind of coming out here. So our poinsettias would be out here, just like that. Do you think we should do them all this color, or do you think we should make like maybe one red or one green and kind of put them opposite? Or should we just go all of these and maybe change the centers? What do you guys think? What do you think?
I like the poinsettias.
I don't. Do you think I should make 4?
I don't think 4. I think
because that would
3.
be 4. But where would you put the third?
I would make them like an equilateral triangle kind of. And
that's kind of difficult.
1 at the bottom and 2 on the other top corner.
So Steve says make them like this and put another one down here, which means that we'll have room for some ribbon tails. We can add the ribbon under these. If so, let me make another one real quick while you guys figure it out. You guys are like, not sure. So, well, when we're not sure, what do we do? I am just making these all over again. So I'll make another one. Just so if people decided they were going to pop in last minute and go, what did you do? How did you make that? I was like, oh, I have more. You like the poinsettias on the other corners? Guadalupe says. I'll give you guys some options. Because like I said, you're not really using that much ribbon. You're using grand total 35 inches to make 4 poinsettias. If you do 4, I mean each one is 35 inches. So under 3 feet. So like I said, perfect leftover ribbon. There's that one. We'll do one more. So let's fold these down. Just because I like being able to jazz it up just a little bit, especially for clients who have storm doors. Usually I just match up my ribbon edges on the bottom. This is normally what I do, because I can see the bottom edge. So I just wait. And nobody reminded me to cut your wire, cat, cut your wire. So let's do this. There you go. Let's do this. Okay, there's that. Could you make poinsettias with 1.5? They'd be very thin. So this gives you this dimension. I haven't done it, but I think it would be really thin. Like the spacing that you have, you know, they wouldn't be very tall, because these are about 1/2 inch tall. So making sure all of my points are all even. And then because I can't match my centers very well, I always have to get a little cheat. So I know where, because otherwise I always put it on one side or the other. They're never even. Okay, let's do this. So that's why I saved pretty ribbon for something. Okay, so again, just start the fluffing process. Just pull them all apart. You got to get the ones that are closest to the centers. And then I'll do, but then that poses a problem. Do we do red? Do we make them all red then? 1, 2, 3. That one looks a little too big. There we go. We'll keep them all the same. So, little dot. There's that one. And then this one. Just watch how much glue you put on there. It's kind of nice too if you can kind of put something in the middle just to kind of hold that whole bunch. So this was Steve's look. So let's push all these down so it doesn't push my poinsettia up. So that one would kind of go in there like that. I'm trying to get this to stay down so that I can get a good visual on that. That's what that would look like. What do you think? I kind of like them on the opposite corners, if I'm being honest. I don't like the triangle.
So you want 4 or just 2?
No, I was just going to do 2, but on opposing centers like this. And then we'll come in and we'll add more ribbon. So I will cut 2 more green. Yes, 2 more green and 2 more red at 13 inches. So there's 1. Here's 2. And then we'll do our red, because then I'll use my pipe cleaners and put the rest of my ribbon in. So if you are making this design, now you know what the design outcome is. You can put your ribbons in where you want, which is put your ribbons in all the way through in every single spot. For me, like I said, I'm alternating my colors. We'll dovetail these. Just like that. And we'll do this one. That one's done. We'll do these 2, and then we'll do the other 4. Put them in, and then we're done. Well, we have to attach our poinsettias. We're just actually going to glue them on, because they're not an embellishment that I don't have to worry about it falling off, because it's just going to get glued to a metal sign. So those 2 are there, and then we need 4 of our 1.5 inches. So this is why I was saying, Guadalupe asked about, let me cut these 4 real quick. There's 1, 2, 3, and yes, I cut my ribbons like this even if I'm by myself. I cut them one at a time. So let's dovetail these. We can do all of these at the same time. We'll just stack them nice. And And we'll do, making sure they're all straight. Okay, so there's that and this. So this is what I'm saying. If we cut 1 to 7 inches to try to get it with thinner ribbon, what I'm saying is when you go, let's cut our points on this. They're going to be so small and so thin that by the time we fold and fold down and fold down, you have, I mean, you could, they're just going to be very thin. So in my case, you don't see those little pretty edges on the ribbon because it's so small, it's taking that detail away. But yes, you can do them. So let's go ahead and finish these. So we're just going to line these up. And again, stickler for what is in the middle. Sounds like a Jeopardy question. What is in the middle? And I'm going to leave these with 1.5 inches. We'll add those little scatters and fillers on these. So there's that one. And let's get our red with this. Same thing. I can move these off to the side until we get these in, and then we'll add our ribbon poinsettias at the end. It was raining. Did you hear it? It was raining before you came out. Oh. Yeah, and can you put the chickens away? Okay, so now we'll do our green. You're gonna get trapped out there. It never fails when one of us walks all the way out to put our chickens away. The sky is generally open up and it just starts to pour and pour. And then we're stuck out there with the chickens, like just staying in the coop, waiting for the rain to stop. Okay, last one. And I forgot to cut the other one down. My pipe cleaner's down to the 1.5 inches. And I'll even do it on the sides too. So 1.5 inches, 1.5 inches. We'll go ahead and decorate those. If you have some other details, you can put like little ornaments on it. You could put, like on this, you could do holly sprigs and put holly on the corners just to kind of dress it up and make it look pretty. Do these ones. They're actually supposed to go under so they lay flat. Okay, so let me put my little balls on, and I'm going with the medium-sized ones. Just one color on each. So that will be a green and a red, or you could do red, white, and green. It's entirely up to you. You could put red ones on the green ones on the red. It's whatever you would like it to be. I am just doing red and green. That was almost too much. I have to be careful so that it doesn't ooze over the side. And you can do whatever you want. You can bring those up. Because our ribbon can, like, it's meant to kind of create a little star pattern in the center. You can play to that if you'd like. So Elizabeth, I'm just reading your comment. You like them on the different corners too. Me too. Sometimes you just make a bunch and that we can do. So see, one of each. So these little scatters and fillers, these little glitter balls are from Hobby Lobby. You can get them in their seasonal section. You could also find them sometimes at the Dollar Tree, although I saw Dollar Tree starting to put their Christmas in. I did not see their glitter balls at this time. Doesn't mean that they won't have them. Ours just didn't have them out right now. Two more little, trying to find the medium ones now. But I like to dress up wreaths as good as you can, especially for storm door, because, you know, it's the depth of your wreath that's going to come into play. So we're just kind of making it a little fancy. That's that one. Trying to find another one. Okay. That one there. This one here, and then we will glue on our poinsettias. Just like that. So again, get your, I like my ribbons to touch so that it creates that little star pattern all the way through. So we're going to take this one. This is going to get tucked up in this corner. Nope, sorry, right where the holly is. We're doing bottom corner. And where's the other one? Up here. This way we don't impact the words too much. So we're just going to do it like that. And that is going to be our total design. So I am going to get these positioned where I want them to go. And then my contact points on these are these three. So that's what I'm going to focus on. Once I put a glue stick back in my glue gun, because it's out, the three. So just right here on the ends, my touch points. So we want to make sure those lay there. And like I said, if you want your poinsettias to stay closed, you can just tack them together, just the little edges, so they look like, I'm going to try to get this one over here, right here at the corner, and touch that with this corner, just like so. So they stay closed, just like so. There's that one. Removing glue threads. Do the same here. Contact points, those three. Flip it over right along the tops, because that's where it's going to stick. Flipping that over, making sure which three I had. And then, like I said, where they start to separate, you can go ahead and put them together. And I'll get these two. Trying to get this one in done. Just the smallest little dot It doesn't take much glue. And there we have it. Again, just really give the bows a lot of love. Just really arc your fingers underneath and give them that lift. Especially on the top. Like these. Just really pull them apart. Make them shine so that you can see all the things. But look how cute that is. If you wanted to, like I said, you could. Let's see, do we have a smell? I have green out here. Did I thought I left green. I don't know. Let me try something because I'm kind of looking at the bottom right in here. Let me look at something. I'm going to try to make a mini bow and put the mini bow on top. Let me just do this. So I'm taking wired ribbon from Hobby Lobby and just making a cute little mini bow. I'm just seeing if it's even going to work. See, it's raining again. And he got trapped out there. Guys, he got trapped. I didn't mean for him to do that. But that's just something that happens to us when we're stuck out there. So I'm going to make the mini bow first. Like this. Okay. So this one's a little longer on the side, so let's cut that back by 1. So I'm thinking like we could do like that. Look how cute the little bow is. Let me take all the excess wire off. But look how cute this little bow is. Like we could put a mini bow right there. I don't like that though. That looks cute. That interferes with the sign, but I like that. What ends up happening if I did? Now I can't even think of like what size, what I want it to be. Let's go 7 inches. I'm just trying to dress up the bottom a little bit. That's just me and these pancake wreaths because they're very limited on what you can do. So this is what I was thinking. Let me see. Working in the world of miniature. I know I don't have any holly, but let me just squish like so. Let me look at these. Trying to center. Me and centering. That's like a skill set that I need to do a little bit more of. So I'm trying to give it some volume so that little bow doesn't get lost. Let me do this. Sometimes you just experiment, ladies. Sometimes we just experiment with all the things. But look, we could do that. Oop. Like it could go there, right? Right under, between the R and the I. And we could take the smallest little ball. I think I like that. Let me get my needle nose. And let me twist those together so they stay together. This would just get glued to the sign. But tell me what you think. Need some green in the bow. See? You're right there with me, Elizabeth. I'm already ahead of you. Just like so. Just fixing. Such a perfectionist. Just like that. Gotta make sure it lines up. So I'm thinking just like that with a little green ball on there. Let's glue the ball. Even if I don't use this here, I still will use it someplace else. But look how cute that is. I'm trying to get my bow to lay flat. The little tips are sticking in the Deco Mesh. But look. Oh, wouldn't you know it? Like a glue thread drags it out of where I wanted it to be. I think I'm gonna have to cut this side down a bit because it's a little too sharp. We'll just make the corners a little shorter so it can lay flat. But what do you guys think? That's super cute. Okay, we're gonna put that in there just because I like it. It needed something. So once I get this in, I'm gonna get these lined up so that I can get my bow in there. Place our glue on the back. You want to center that. I'm trying to make sure that our bow stays flat. Just like so. Just like so. Something different, something fun that, like I said, you can pull what you'd like from the design. If you don't want to do the ribbon and poinsettias, you can do a couple of these bows in the corners instead. That's an option you have. But let's show this to you on the door. So, flipping you up. A little bit more. I apologize for the wreck of the sound. Okay. Da, 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 da. Let's put this up on your door. So as you can see, very thin. Very thin. It is probably 2.5, 3 inches, maybe at the most. Make sure you pull all your glue threads off, like I am. And then I gotta make sure I get it on my hook. Not just a hit or miss on my hook. Okay. There we go. Fluff your bows. Make everything touch. Glue thread, glue thread. There we go. There we go. Okay, I'll zoom in. Wow, that's so small. I can zoom you in super, super close. What questions do you have? Like I said, if you want, you could make different color poinsettias. You can put a green one. Oops. I knew I did not have it on my hook. Should not have fallen. That's what happens when you attach it to your Deco Mesh and not attach it where it's supposed to. Okay, so there you go. And then just fluff all of your ribbon so that you can see all the pieces, just like that. All your ribbon ends, all your tails on the underside. You can make all those come out so you can see those individually. So they still do peek out. They're like little peekaboo tails. Is that one? I'm going to hold that so it doesn't. Pull that up. Pull this over. I'm just trying to give all the ribbon its own opportunity to shine in that design. There you go. Okay. Ta-da! Simple, right? Because I always feel that people who have storm doors, they just get everything that's very blah, very passive. And so I just kind of wanted to elevate this a little bit with the ribbon poinsettias, show you how to do it. I have more designs coming for you next week, so I hope you guys will join me then. This tutorial was only supposed to be ribbon poinsettias, but I was like, you know what, we can throw that on a pancake wreath and just make it a little longer. But thank you guys for watching me, and I will talk to you soon. Stay safe, stay dry. Not me, I'll be out enjoying the weather like a duck. But I love the rain. So have a great weekend, everyone, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.